Hi, everybody. I'm Bryan Mudd. A fan of South Plains politics? Here's your talking points for this week. Polarizing but important for Republican candidates in deep red districts like ours, and the president doesn't mince words in his praise for our representative. And look for more ads and more Texas campaign stops for Democratic presidential candidates. A lot at stake for them and not a lot of time left to make their case.
From the studios of KMAC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Also this week, betting on the favorite. So we've talked a lot here about the importance of voting and the obvious reasons play into that, of course, and the ways that voter turnout can cool the political partisanship a little. But it's also important that you walk out of the voting booth feeling like you've done the right thing, whatever that means for you. This primary is deep and complicated on both sides, and it kind of feels like one of those where you almost want to wait until Election Day to see what else is revealed about a lot of your favorite candidates. If that's you, that's okay. If you're voting early, awesome. Just make sure you do it. Bring your ID and be ready to declare a party affiliation. Our Emily Harrison has some voter do's and don'ts.
That's our one privilege, our responsibility.
Because that's the only way things are different or change happens.
It's yes or no and a few marks down on paper or touchscreen to cast your vote in the Texas primaries.
You have your president, you have your U.S. senator, you have a lot of your justice of the Supreme Courts, you've got your locally, we have county commissioner, and we have 2 district judge races.
A couple of things to keep in mind. Look over the ballot before you go. You can only vote in one primary.
You cannot vote in both elections. That would be illegal. People need to know, because that's usually the #1 question we get out in the field is, one, why are you asking me? And that's private, and they didn't want to share that.
And make sure you address appropriately. If not, you'll be turned away.
You can't wear elephant earrings or donkey earrings or scarves or belts, pendants, anything like that that represents one of the 2 parties. The state does not allow that when we're doing early voting or even on Election Day.
All right, and that is Emily Harrison reporting. One of the folks who are going to be asking for your vote to be the next judge of the 140th District Court is Douglas Freitag, who joins us now. Good to see you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you having me today.
Well, we'd love to have you in here. Tell us about your background a little bit. A lot of legal experience comes from Texas Tech and a district attorney's office somewhere near you, right? I mean, you've been around and doing this for a while.
Yes, sir. Have been. I've been doing this a little over 19 years now. In May of 2000, I graduated from Texas Tech University School of Law. Walked across stage here. Got my first job with the Lubbock County Criminal District Attorney's Office at that point, and have spent, I guess, 19 and a half years now working either for DA's offices or out in private practice for about the last 8, 9 years or so. I've been on my own.
Yeah. So private practice now and your own boss, and I imagine the pay's not too bad. Why is this the right time to step away from some of that at least and do something like being a district court judge?
Well, I tell people, folks don't realize what being your own boss means. It means you get to work nights, weekends, holidays, all those other times when you work for somebody else, they don't have you working.
Right.
So, but as far as the timing, this was went into this visiting with my wife one night. We were talking about this, and she just said, I think this is what you're supposed to do. I think you're called to do it now. Had a lot of prayers and conversations the next couple of days and visited with her a lot more, and people that I really trust and respect, and everybody said, yeah, we think this is what you're supposed to be doing now. So here we are.
Yeah, and obviously, attorney for a while and understand the criminal justice system from both sides of things. Is it an easy transition, though, do you imagine, from the job that you have done now to being a district court judge?
There'll be a learning curve.
Sure.
I don't know how there couldn't be, but I think that the transition itself won't be that bad, mainly because for this particular court, they're going to hear a lot of criminal cases. They're going to hear some family law cases under the current setup that we have right now. And I've prosecuted and I've defended both in this courtroom. I've stood up in this courtroom and announced the state's ready for trial, and I've stood up and announced the defense is ready for trial. So I've done both sides there. And then I've represented both sides in family law matters too. So that part of it, probably the overseeing a trial part of it will be the easiest part of the learning curve. It'll be the administrative stuff, really,
Sure.
that I'll have to get up to speed on.
Sure. You know, we've had a lot of the judge candidates in. We've been fortunate to have them come visit here. All good folks. What about your experience or your philosophy makes you different from some of those other folks?
Well, the biggest thing is I have done it from both sides, and I've done everything that this court's going to hear. I've done it at some point in time, and I don't think there's anybody else in my race that can say that. You know, one of the big things that stands out to me too is this particular court will hear death penalty cases if they're brought, and I'm the only candidate in this particular race that has stood up and done individual voir dire, one-on-one jury selection in a death penalty case even.
Not the same as a lot of other cases.
No, it's not the same. For your viewers that have had jury duty and been out there before, you know, they understand. They kind of bring you in like a big herd of cattle or something. You know, if it's a felony case, 40 to 60 people at a time, sometimes more than that, and the lawyers take turns asking questions, and you talk to the whole group at once. Whereas on a death penalty case, you bring people in one person at a time, sit down and visit with them one at a time on those issues, because you don't want somebody giving an answer or an opinion or something that influences everybody else in there, obviously,
right.
with that type of case.
Comes more to philosophy and that kind of thing, personal philosophy.
It really does,
Yeah.
yes, sir.
Yeah, and speaking of, you know, about your personal philosophies and everything, we hear a lot about so-called activist judges and people try to legislate from the bench in their cases and all those kind of things. How would you, just being a human being, would you keep personal feelings out of the job where you'd be the judge of the 140?
Well, I think the thing that you have to do is you have to realize that it's always more important to make the right decision, okay? And you've got to follow, you know, we've got a legislative process. They make the law. We've got an executive branch. They enforce the law. It's your job to interpret the law as it comes to you, you know, and remove yourself from that role of, you know, advocating for one side or advocating for the other. Thankfully, having done it from both sides, you know, I can understand the arguments. You sit back, you listen to them, and then you apply the law to those arguments or to the evidence that's been brought in front of you and go with it from there.
Just a few seconds left here. How has it been being a politician here for the last few weeks?
Oh, it's been a great experience, actually. It really has. You know, you hear all the cliches and stuff, but just getting out, getting to meet people, getting to knock on their doors, getting to visit with them, shake their hands, it's just been really fun. I've gotten to meet a whole bunch of folks, just a whole slice of folks that I otherwise wouldn't have probably ever come in contact with, and so that part's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of late nights. There's been some early mornings.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I've got, my wife and I have 3 boys. I've had to miss a basketball game or 2. We've had to rely on friends and other folks to help get us to baseball practice and stuff. So that part, not so great. But overall, it's been fantastic.
Good deal. Well, he is Doug Freitag. He's a candidate for the 140th District Court Judge spot. Check him out. And thanks for coming in. Good luck.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
And let's do this week's poll question. This is actually one of the Republican Party propositions on the primary ballot, but I wanted to head start, see what all you guys thought. Should Texas limit our Texas legislators' terms to 12 years? Talk to us on the KMAC News Facebook page and on everythinglubbock.com. Just click on Talking Points and give us your opinion there. Coming up, a candidate for Congress that's not like many candidates we've seen before. Also, what in the world is a UDC and how could it shape the future of Lubbock business, home ownership, land use?